Welcome back to Dropped In. I'm so grateful to be here with you today and share a microdose hit of magic and medicine with you. And today's episode is super, super personal. And there was some resistance in me sharing this, but I know it is a profound, teachable moment. And so I'm sharing it because I think a lot of leaders are quietly living inside the same misunderstanding that I lived inside for quite a few years. So I thought capacity meant enduring more, holding more, pushing through more, being the one who could handle everything without dropping the ball. And honestly, up until last year, at the ripe old age of 44, I thought that was strength. I thought that was leadership. I thought that was capacity. And it turns out I was completely wrong. And recently, over the last few months, I have found myself in a place I didn't recognize. My body wasn't responding the way it normally has. My energy felt completely different. I've been having ongoing pain in my sinuses, pressure in my ears. And this has been going on since August of 2025. And no one could figure out what was going on. And then at the time of recording right now, thankfully, we have found a resolve February 27th. But leading up to this time, I started to get headaches, which I never get, neck pain, shoulder pain, brain fog. And I was like, what the heck is happening? I literally felt like I was going insane. Nobody had an answer for me. I went to all sorts of different practitioners, and there wasn't really a clear understanding of what was going on. And as I share all of the things that I was navigating, if you know me, that that is not my normal baseline. And I am someone who knows my body so incredibly well. I trust it. I listen to it. And so when things felt off, I really had no other choice but to go inward. And if I'm being honest, there was a moment where I thought, how can I be a nervous system and business mentor when I feel like this? How can I talk about capacity when I don't feel like I have the same access to mine right now? And that question cracked something open. And I think this conversation is so important now more than ever because we are all human. A heart surgeon can have heart conditions, right? A nervous system expert can have issues going on with their body. And so, after a lot of digging, a shit ton of advocating for myself and driving my husband bonkers, my goodness. Thank you, Craigie. I love you. I was constantly on a quest of asking questions and refusing to just mask the symptoms. And as a result, as I record this today, we have discovered something really, really important. And so that sinus thing that I thought was allergies in August, that I was navigating ongoing, it was misdiagnosed. And so thankfully now I'm receiving proper treatment. My body is back in business. and I'm feeling so much relief. And I also want to share, like, I am a slow burner. Like, I wake up and sometimes I have 45-minute baths. Like, I am not pushing, I am not forcing. This was not going against my body's wisdom. There was something else going on. And now, as I share this and as I did that deep inner work and also asking questions and not just taking random answers, everything makes sense. And so my body wasn't failing me at all. It was signaling me. And once I knew that, I could breathe again. But what really shifted me wasn't just the understanding of, the diagnosis of what's been going on. It's what happened next. And so I decided to do something that I've done along my healing journey many times, but I didn't do it to this level of capacity. I went to my timeline over the last 8 years of my life, and not from a business lens, but from a capacity lens. And when I laid it all out, I actually sat there and thought, holy shit, how did I do all of this? Like, how in the hell did I do all of this? Because the truth is, I wasn't just building a business, I was navigating life at full intensity. And so over those years, I lost my dad. And all the while, I was navigating some deep family dynamics during that time that I can't share, but less than awesome. Let's just say that. And these three things I'm sharing right now all happened within one single year. We also lost a brand new puppy in a tragic accident. And I revived a friend and colleague back to life while waiting for paramedics who arrived at the scene 30 minutes after he coded. 30 minutes of holding someone between life and death, all within 1 year. And then came working as an addictions nurse and mental health nurse during COVID. And if you've ever been inside that world, especially during that time, you know the level of pressure that existed there. It was utter chaos. And then at that time, I had one foot in the nursing, one foot in my business. And that was a catalyst for me to finally just be like, you know what? I'm going all in on my business. And so I did. And I stepped into visibility, even though being online and being seen petrified me. And it certainly did not feel natural. And then as I continued to lean in and build my capacity in that space, I built something that was on my heart, where I was able to infuse business and the retreat style work that I've been doing throughout the years and selling out these masterminds twice, all the while holding space for family as a loved one moved in and out of ICU for over a year. And at that time also was supporting my husband through stress in his business. And then realizing later how much I had been carrying emotionally. And behind the scenes, I can't share too much. There was other intense situations unfolding that brought immense pressure and legal complexity into our world. And then last year, becoming a published author, speaking on guest stages, co-facilitating our first live event for me across the country. stretching myself beyond what I thought was possible. And let me tell you, when I saw it all laid out, the pattern became obvious. I wasn't operating from capacity, I was enduring. And this is where I want to slow down because this distinction matters. Enduring looks like strength from the outside. You keep going, you keep showing up, you hold everything together. You perform well, you produce results. People call you resilient, and you wear it like a badge of honor. But internally, you're running on adaptation. You're overriding signals. You're carrying more than your system has fully processed. And here's the thing, capacity is different. Capacity is not how much you can survive. Capacity is how much you can hold without abandoning yourself, without disconnecting from your body, without needing to collapse after every expansion. Capacity allows recovery. Enduring delays it. And eventually, the body collects the bill. And so, what I realized doing that timeline and looking back was this: my body wasn't suddenly struggling. My body had been holding me through years of intensity. And when there was finally space to slow down, it said this: now we process. Now we breathe. Now we recalibrate. And instead of fighting that, I started listening, not from fear, but from deep respect. Because my body was not the problem, it was the messenger. And there was also something so deeply humbling in all of this. I had to sit with the question of identity. How do I lead this work while navigating my own human experience? And the answer came so quickly because this is the work. Capacity isn't about being untouched by life. It's about learning how to move with life without losing yourself inside it. And I don't teach this because I read it somewhere. I teach this because I live it. Because I've walked through the seasons where enduring looked like capacity. And I've learned the difference in my own body. So many founders, leaders, and executives are praised for what I call the opposite of heart-wired leadership. It's hardwired. They're praised for the sense of endurance. They are rewarded for how much they can push, how much they can carry, how much they can do. But nobody is asking if carrying it is costing them something. And the truth is this: the market does not need more exhausted, burnt out leaders pretending they are fine. It needs leaders with real capacity, leaders who know when to pause, leaders who can expand without self abandonment, leaders who understand that sustainable growth requires internal space. And this is why I talk about the capacity advantage. Because when you build real capacity, you don't just survive pressure, you stay clear inside it. You don't just lead outcomes, you lead energy. You don't just endure growth, you actually experience it. And from personal experience, that changes how you show up everywhere in your leadership, in your business, your relationships, and most importantly, your health. Doing that timeline gave me something I didn't realize I needed: compassion for myself. Not the kind that makes you smaller, the kind that lets you finally acknowledge, oh, man, what you've carried. And maybe as you're listening right now, you're realizing you have been enduring too. Maybe you've been calling it capacity because that felt safer than admitting how much you've been holding. And if that's you, please know you're not alone. This is your invitation to pause, to look back, and to actually see yourself. And here's what I know now: capacity isn't about proving how much you can handle. It's about creating a life and a business where you don't have to abandon yourself to succeed. And sometimes the biggest leadership move you can make is listening when your body asks you to slow down. And it's not because there's anything wrong with you or because you're failing. It's because you're finally ready to expand in a different way. And that's where real capacity begins. And until next time, I will see you on Dropped In.